Okay, guys, we are live. Hmm. So, hello everyone, I am Harshal Jain, and today we are going to continue with our application. So, in the last video, we started building the backend, and almost the backend was done. Just some basic APIs were left. Actually, the important ones were left, like movie and screens and get movies and cast and different APIs. So, we are going to finish that, and then today we are going to start with the admin panel also, because admin panel will also play an important role. I'm not going to build a very advanced admin panel, but yeah, okay, admin panel which will do our job. Okay, but yeah, you can create the design of admin panel on your own, but I'm gonna use a very basic design of admin panel. Okay, so let's begin, and what I'm gonna do is, first of all, let's open project. Aditya Chandra, Ram ji. Okay, guys, so in last video what actually happened was, you might see the title as blog app day 4 if you check the playlist, or if you go to the previous videos, you will see the title as blog app day 4, like just before this tutorial. And it's actually movie app. By mistake, and it's blog app, so we are gonna change it on Monday or Tuesday. Right now everyone is on leave. Okay, so yeah, here you can see, first of all, I'll open the project. So in this movie project, and this was the front end, this was the back end. Okay, so we're gonna finish our back end first. So guys, this was the backend, right? And we actually created some routes here. You can see we actually created some routes. So you can actually check out that last video. We created the auth part, we created the admin part. Admin part was this one. Okay, created the admin path, auth part, and one thing was remaining was image upload routes as well as the movie JS. Okay, so we're gonna finish this today, and then we're gonna continue with our admin panel also. Okay, because some APIs are only accessible by the admin, and some API are used by the user. Okay, that is only the book ticket API is actually allowed for the user, and after that you have some more APIs which is for public, like anyone can get movies or get screens, right? So it's like that. So now we're gonna do that. So first of all, we have this create movie API. So guys, what we have done is, in the movie schema you can see this movie actually had title, description, portrait image, landscape image, rating, genre, and this would be a string, like for example action, thriller, horror, like that. Okay, then you can see we have the duration. So duration, I would just take duration in minutes, and automatically we later on convert it. So I'll convert the duration like this. Okay, so in minutes I'll take that from the user. You can make it conversions like normal time, then convert into minute and like that, but I'm just gonna take it very simply, just minutes. Okay, then this is the cast. Okay, cast would be actually different. Okay, I took the wrong object. This won't be the object. Actually, I'm just gonna take a few things from the user. For this would be complete array, right? This movie would be having multiple people in the cast, so each cast would be having a object. Okay, each cast would be having an object. Suppose this cast is for actor 1. Okay, that means this is actor 1, again actor 2, actor 3. So this whole array would be consisting of all actors. Similarly, this would be consisting people like directors or members. Okay, so similarly, I'm just gonna copy this and paste it here. Okay, fine. So these are all the things which we have inside the movie schema, and we are going to follow this. So if you want to see the complete source code, you can simply visit my GitHub profile. I'm just going to share you my GitHub profile. Okay, and also guys, in the description you would find a link of a course provided by Geeks for Geeks. So I'll just take you to that also, so that everything is done at once, then we can start like without any pause. Okay, so in the description you'll find a link. Okay, in the description you'll find a link, and you'll also find my GitHub repository link. Okay, you can also find the link of my GitHub resources repository link in the description itself, and you will get a full stack development React and Node.js live course also. So actually what you have to do is, you can see that here we have the links. Okay, here we have the links. First is the GitHub repo, then you can see we have this full stack courses link, so you can check out these, and also you can check out the handles of Geeks for Geeks. Okay, so first thing is you can actually visit this. Okay, you can see that this is the course which we are talking about. If you want to learn MERN stack, full stack development, you can check out this, and do check out the content first of all. Okay, then you have to visit the GitHub profile. You can simply see this is my GitHub profile. You can visit that from my description also. So this is my GitHub profile. Just type github.com/VIRA014. Remember the name. Okay, and then you can see this is my GitHub profile. You can check out my handles also. And now what you're gonna do is in the repositories, here we have movie booking 3x backend. Okay, booking 3x backend, and this is the front end. So similarly, all the previous source codes are also available here for the other projects. So if you don't find the source code, you just have to search it here, and also you can mark it as a star so that you get it in the stars section. Okay, you get it in the stars section. You can see it saved here, so it's saved, right? So that's it, and that's how you're gonna get the source code. And one more thing, guys, if you have any doubts or queries, what you can actually do is you can message me on Instagram, and apart from the comment section, I'm also active here. So yeah, you can message me on Instagram or for any kind of doubts. Okay, so now let's continue, and we are pretty much there. Now let's get started. Okay, I hope everyone has the source code for the backend, and I've uploaded the complete source code till yesterday. Now we're gonna finish today. Okay, so this is movie.js, and here we are gonna create our first API. Okay, first API was actually the test API, which was just for testing. And after that, we just imported our things, and now we're gonna finish things. Okay, so here what we're gonna do is I'll just close this. Now, in movie API, we need a few things, that is title, description. So what we're gonna do is we're simply gonna create a request. I'm just copy pasting the request. I'm gonna explain the request. That would be the easiest thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this is the first thing, that is try, and at the end you would, whatever error you have, you would send that to the error handler. Okay, error handler is called here, and error handler is actually my middleware. Okay, you can see this is the middleware. Automatically this is called with the status code and the error message. So I'm just sending the error message with the status code, and you can see okay is false. Okay, so now let's come back here, and we are gonna follow the same approach for all the APIs. So I'm just gonna paste those here. Okay, right, and there are few more APIs. You can see user access APIs. So one thing is, first of all, I'll just change it, get movies and get screens. So get screens would be actually get screens by ID. So I'm just gonna change the names of these APIs. So first of all is the movies, and similarly I have one more, that is get movie by ID. Okay, so you have to provide the ID as a parameter. This will be our one API. Then this will also be our API, which would simply give me screens by city. That means what are the available theater screens in that specific city. I'm getting all the screens. Okay, so these are all the things which we need. And now let's start with the first, that is create movie. Okay, so create movie, again I told you what's my movie schema. So what you actually need is you need to provide those details. Okay, so first of all, you'll be taking the title, description, etc. things from the body. You can see image URL. Actually, let me just check. Okay, it's actually portrait image URL. So portrait image URL. Then what else? We are gonna need landscape image URL. Okay, then rating, genre, duration. Okay, so you can see rating is there, genre is there, duration is there. Genre is again an array. So I think this is fine. So I've taken all the details. Now what you're gonna do is these details like cast and crew would be given externally. Okay, I think that later on you might add or delete some cast, so that's why I'm just allowing, I'm not taking cast and crew in this specific API. Okay, I'm just taking these fields, and cast and crew would become empty when you are creating a movie. Later on you would be using this API to add cast and crew. Okay, so this is not a very important API, but I'm just creating it. Okay, I'm just creating it so that it looks fancy. Okay, so yeah, we are just gonna create an object for movie with all the details which we have. So again, I'm gonna say that these are all the details which we are taking. Okay, so I'll just copy these details, and paste it here. Okay, so these are all the details which we are taking, right? So now below this, we have created an object. Now we have to just save that object to database. Okay, we are just going to save that object to database. Our movie would be saved, and at the end I'm just gonna send this response with okay as true and messages movie added successfully. Okay, so you can follow other method also. What we did was, in last video we actually went to auth.js. You can see I created this function create response. You can create a function like this and give that function this response, so that this method of giving response is maintained. Okay, the structure of giving responses is maintained. Okay, that's why I'm sending okay as true message as this. Okay, because this is a proper method. Now front end guy won't be confused that is this message successful or not, because this is successful. Okay, although response is also successful, but yeah, you have to give one parameter also, so if the front end guy is not that much sound, so they can actually see okay is true, that means everything is fine. Okay, that's why I'm sending it this way. Okay, so this is the create movie. Okay, similarly we're gonna have another thing, that is add celebrity to movie. Okay, so add celebrity to movie would be very easy. So again, you're gonna take what details from the celebrity. You're just gonna take what rating you give to this project in terms of what, like I would say, yeah, it's more of a medium level project. If you like, definitely I can make it advanced level also. For example, the complete movies would be shown according to the availability of the seats, and movie would be only available for 3 months. This is a whole advanced thing, but right now we are just taking some normal things, like we are taking city separately, screen separately, movie separately. These are all things separate. Okay, but yeah, later on what you can do is, for making it advanced, you can just mix them. Okay, that means for this city, if I simply type, if I simply search for my city, for example Mumbai. Okay, so for if I simply search for Mumbai, so you would automatically get all the movies for Mumbai. So you can add more complexity to this project, but right now I would say that it's a medium level project. Okay, because we are not making it that complex. It would take a lot more time than I expected. Okay, so yeah, this is it. So you can see add celebrity to movie. So I would say that for that, actually we are taking the movie ID, to what movie you want to add the celebrity to. Celebrity type, is it an actor or it's a crew, that means cast or crew. There would be two types of celebrity, so we're gonna take that. Celebrity name, what's the celebrity name, celebrity role, celebrity image. You can, guys, you can do one more thing. You can create a separate collection of all celebrities, like all global celebrities, and later on you can just use those IDs, so that you don't have to create it again and again. This would save a lot more data, but right now we're just taking it normally. Okay, so yeah, this is a very basic thing, but instead of this, what you can do is you can create a collection of celebrities and just call their IDs here. Just call their IDs, so that you don't have to add this data like images, type, name, role again and again. Okay, so it would save a lot more data later on, but right now you can go with this. Okay, so this is the first thing. First of all, I would find the movie which we created and to which I want to add this celebrity. I'm simply gonna say that if the movie doesn't exist, I'm simply gonna say that movie not found. But if movie exists, I'm just gonna create a new celebrity object. Okay, new celebrity object, and this is going to be pasted where, inside the movie schema. You can see it's like this. But how we're gonna define, is it a cast or a crew? By simply checking the celebrity type. Okay, so what we're gonna say is, if celebrity type is cast, then add it to the cast array. If celebrity type is crew, then add it to the crew array. Okay, fine. So that's what we're gonna say. So celebrity type is cast, so we're gonna simply say that it's a cast. Okay, if celebrity type is crew, then add it to the crew. Okay, now we're just gonna save that movie object since we modified it. Now what else? We're simply gonna say that just send this response celebrity added successfully. Okay, so this is the second API which we created. Now let's continue with the third API. So this is the create screen. So create screen, again, create screen, I would just take you to the screen schema. So this is what we created in last video, and screen schema is again having name, location, seats. That means name would be the name of the screen, for example 4D, 3D, 2D, or blue screen, red screen. Different kind of screens are available in cinema theaters. Okay, so I'm just giving the name. After that we have the location. Location is like what exactly the is the mall name or theater name, IMAX, or you can say PVR cinemas, whatever location is it. Okay, you just define the location. Then you have the seats. This would be the layout of the seats. That means what are the exact seats and what the rows and columns we created for front end, right? Similarly, you're gonna paste that seat layout in the back end. After that we have the city. That means what's the exact city of the screen, so that we can get all the screens by that cities. For example, if I am from Mumbai, so I'll get all the screens means by the city. So you have to pass this parameter also, so that you know that this screen is from Mumbai. Okay, similarly you can see we have screen types. Screen type would be, again, just specify it specifically, because this name would be different, obviously sometimes might be different from screen type. Okay, that's why. So screen type would be IMAX, 3D, 2D, etc. Okay, so I'm just talking about, for example, we are at a cinema hall, and there might be different kind of screens. Okay, 4 5 screens. Okay, so this is just for one screen. Similarly, you would be having 4 5 screens. Location might be same, but for each screen I'm creating a specific object. Okay, that's it. So you can see it's like this. Now you're gonna see that we have movie schedules. So movie schedules would be, again, I'm just defining the type. That means the movie ID would be taken from the movie object which we created. For example, I want to just schedule one movie, that is Jawan, with this time, with this date, and with simply specifying it as not available seats would be initially empty. But as I make a booking, for example, I made a booking for seat ID H1, so automatically I would simply say just add seat ID H1 to this array. So later on, when you are sending it to someone, when you are showing it to someone, when someone new tries to book a seat, automatically all the seats mentioned here won't be shown, would be simply said not allowed to book, already reserved. Okay, like that. So we are gonna simply add the ID of those seats which are already booked inside this. Initially it would be empty when you are creating a screen, and when you are creating a schedule, this is for a specific schedule, for a movie, for a specific time, for a specific date, and this would be some specific for a schedule, not for the whole theater. Okay, it's for some specific schedule. That means at this time, 10 a.m., these seats are not available. Okay, it's like that. So this is the schema which we are gonna follow. So now let's go back to movie.js, and here you can see add movie. Actually, first of all, create screen. Okay, so inside create screen, what details you're gonna take is, you're gonna take the name, location, seats layout, city, screen type. Okay, now let's create an object out of it. So let's create an object of it. You can see whenever you create a screen, that means for the first time some screen is listed in a cinema hall. Initially there would be no schedule, so I'm just saying that there is no schedule. Okay, there is no schedule, so it's empty. And then after that you can see name, location, seats, city, screen type. I think everything is fine here. Now we have to just save it. Just save it. Okay, then you're simply gonna send this, and you can see that creating APIs are very easy. Just create it. Okay, it's very easy. And specifically in Node.js, it's damn easy to create APIs. And I don't know why people get confused with the backend parts. I think sometimes I feel that backend is more easier than front end, because you just have to write things. You don't need to worry about the styling or anything. You just have to write things. Okay, so yeah, one more thing is add movie schedule to screen. For example, here right now I'm just saying that movie name is Jawan. I'm simply saying that get movie Jawan, and simply add it to 10 a.m. schedule for this screen. Okay, so that's what we are gonna do. We are simply gonna get the movie ID which we want to add to the schedule. So we're simply gonna say movie ID, screen ID, that is to which screen I want to add, what's the movie, and what's the time, what's the date. That's it. Okay, and we are just creating a schedule. Initially there won't be any seats reserved. First of all, I'm gonna find that screen. Okay, similarly I'm gonna find the movie also. Okay, I'm simply gonna find the movie also, but if you wanna check the movie, then that's fine. But I think this movie ID would be automatically taken from front end, so you don't need to check for the movie ID. But what we're gonna do is, okay, let's do one thing. We'll check the movie also. Okay, we'll check the movie also. If that movie doesn't exist, so we are simply gonna send the error. If that movie doesn't exist with that movie ID, we are simply gonna send the error. But if everything is fine, screen also exists, movie also exists, now you're simply gonna say that if screen and movie exist, हेलो भाई प्लीज़ आप हिंदी और इंग्लिश मेंशन कर दो, मिक्स कर दो. Actually I can follow Hindi also, but there are some people who don't understand English, are from South India or any other part of the world. So for that, like for example, South Indian people sometimes don't understand Hindi, they understand their language. So for those people I'm simply considering English. Okay, so that's why I don't use Hindi that much. So yeah, here you can see I have created a schedule. Once we check for the movie ID, we check for the screen ID. I'm simply saying that for that screen, just create a movie schedule. That means inside movie schedules array, just create a movie schedule with this movie ID. what movie must be shown at that time, the time, and initially there won't be any reserved seats, and then the date, okay, at what date. Okay, so these are all the things which we are gonna use for that specific schedule, and this is only done by admin. That means admin can be anyone, the theater owner, or the exact, for example, if you take reference of Book My Show. Book My Show, I think, does that in some separate way. I'm not really sure what's the exact method which they follow for adding movies, but this is some admin thing, okay? Only admin can do, not a normal user, not a normal customer can add a movie schedule, definitely. So I've just mentioned them in the admins, okay? Mentioned them in the admin. So these are all the admin things which we have done here. You can definitely add a few more things like delete operation, update operation, but these are just some basic create operations that will do our work, okay? So one more thing is, after that, if you want to like add more features to it, definitely you can follow the delete and update operations. These are all some extra things which you would need to add inside this. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the book ticket. So whenever someone books a ticket, I'm not assuming that we are gonna talk about the payment things. Okay, we are not talking about the payment things. We are simply saying, we have simply assumed that payment is done. Now you just want to book this ticket. Okay, so if payment is done, simply this API would be called. Okay, simply this API would be called. And when you're booking tickets, what exactly happens is, you can see we have booking schema here. Okay, so let's talk about booking schema. You can see there's the show time, show date, and movie ID, and theater ID, and seats. What are seats? What are the seats? That means how many number of seats have been booked for this booking. That means, for example, right now I want to book 5 seats. Do you think that I would be booking one seat at a time? No, I would be booking 5 seats at once. Okay, so that's what it says here. Whenever you are making a booking, first of all, for that specific show, okay, show and date, then what's the movie, what's the theater, then you're simply saying I want to book 5 seats in that theater. So simply you're mentioning those 5 theaters. So you're simply mentioning those 5 seats. Okay, 5 seats with the seat ID, and the seat type is something which we are going to talk about later on. Then the status of the seat, okay, availability, like that. Okay, so everything is fine, and I think this is it. Guys, one more thing. I'm gonna add one more thing. Okay, I'm gonna add one more thing, that is seat row and seat column, and what else, you can add one more thing, that is, if there is some alphabet, seat alphabet, or seat row name. Okay, there might be some name like XYZ. You can see for each row there is some name. Okay, and seat, automatically the type would be silver, gold, platinum, so you don't need to mention the type. Automatically this type is automatically taken as silver, gold, platinum. Okay, so whenever you are booking seats, it's like this. Okay, so similarly 5 objects would be created. If you're booking 5 seats at a time, so 5 objects would be created like this, and I'm assuming that these are the details which we are gonna take. Okay, so I'm just assuming, later on we might change in the upcoming video. Okay, so this is the seats, and now similarly the total price, what's the total amount, right? So now we have the total amount, we have everything. Now let's go back to the movie schema. Here we're gonna talk about the first thing, that is what we are gonna take as input. So you can see this is the show time, this is the show date, movie ID, theater ID, and the seats which you're gonna book, the total price. Okay, so this is after payment. Okay, I'm assuming that payment is done. Actually, you can do one more thing. You can take the payment ID also. So for example, you can take the payment ID. This would be great, like whenever your payment is completed, then you would be saving your payment ID in the booking schema, so that in future, if the admin wants to know what's the exact payment ID, has this payment been done or not, if there is some refund, so you can actually get this by payment ID. Okay, so PAYMENT, payment ID. And one more thing, that is payment type. That means, is it done from Google Pay, or is it done from cash on delivery, anything, like just payment type. Okay, so payment type, again it would be a string, and required true. Okay, so these are all the details which we are gonna need. So I'm also gonna take this here. So payment type and type and payment ID. Okay, so these are all the details which we are gonna take whenever your booking is done. Okay, so that means payment is done. After that, you want to just book the ticket. First of all, you will be doing the payment. Okay, so you can create a function to verify payment ID. Okay, right now we are not gonna talk about it, but yeah, if someone wants to complete the payment part, just before saving this booking data, please verify payment ID. Okay, because this might be some front-end scam also. So that's why at back-end also you must always verify the payment ID. Okay, that's it. Now you have to just create the booking out of this. So you're just gonna create the booking. Okay, by simply mentioning all these things there. Fine. So I'm just mentioning all these things here. Now after this, if everything is done, I'm just gonna save this booking. I'm just gonna save this booking, and then I'm just gonna find this screen ID also. Okay, that means, for example, your booking is done. Your booking is done. Now, if your booking is done, you have booked seats, suppose H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. Now there is some screen and there is some schedule for that screen, okay, so what you're gonna say is, at that specific schedule, just add your booked seats. That means not available seats would be now having H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and all the other seats which might have been added before. So this array must also be updated. Okay, so that's what we're gonna say. So when you are booking the seat here, you're just gonna say also find the screen. Okay, you're actually gonna say one more thing, that is, just before making the booking, you're gonna find the screen also. Okay, that means by theater ID, or better to say screen ID. Control F2, screen ID. Okay, so that's what we're gonna take. Similarly, the movie ID, I think I have mentioned it like this. So wherever you see the screen ID, movie ID, please mention it like this so that confusion is avoided. And please follow camel casing wherever possible. I would just change it everywhere. Like for example, you just have to do the camel casing format so that it's easy. Okay, so you can see total prices there, payment ID, payment type. Okay, these are all the things. Similarly, you can do it in the schemas also. Please mention, I've just mentioned it, please add the camel casing everywhere. You can see I've used camel casing here. You can do one more thing, not available seats. Okay, similarly, you're gonna do this everywhere. Okay, everywhere you can see total price is here. So total price, and inside seats you can see seat ID. Okay, so I'll just say that it's seat ID. Okay, type status, yeah, and this is not theater ID, this is screen ID. And similarly, movie ID. Okay, I think this is it. And just similarly do this everywhere. Follow camel casing everywhere. I forgot to tell this before, but please follow camel casing everywhere wherever you see, and this would save a lot of, like, the format must be proper. Okay, format for doing things must be proper. Okay, so yeah, I think some things might need some change. Okay, for example, this is celeb type. Okay, celeb type, again here also you have to make it type name role image. Okay, so type name role image. Okay, that's it. Fine. Portrait image description, fine. Similarly, we're gonna talk about one more, that is our screen schema. So you can see screen type, movie schedules, movie ID, not available seats, this is done. Similarly, you're gonna talk about the user schema, this is fine. Movie schema, booking schema. So in booking schema also we did the same things, fine. You can see this is the same thing. Now in admin schema also please check. Okay, please double check everything, then we are gonna continue with this. Okay, so please check all the APIs also wherever you feel that we need to use the camel casing, please do that. Okay, so I'll do the camel casing at now I'll just do the camel casing, then we're gonna continue. So this is done. Similarly, we have celebrity type. Okay, So I'll just say Control F2, just change the celebrity type. Okay, similarly change the celebrity name. Similarly change the Control F2, similarly change the celebrity role, celebrity image. Okay, fine, I think this is it, and now everything is in sync. Similarly go to create screen. In create screen also you can see, yeah, everything is fine, everything is fine. So create screen is fine. Now in add movie you can see this is the, these are the all the details, add movie to schedule, and yes, these are fine. Okay, these are fine. Now similarly we are talking about book ticket, so you can see we did camel kissing here, so we are saving things accordingly. Okay, so we are just saving things accordingly, and I think everything is fine here also. Okay, so now what else? We are simply gonna say just extract the IDs from the seats. Okay, seats would be in which format? Suppose you are booking 5 seats, so this will be an array of 5 seats. Okay, so what exactly it's of type? So it's of actually like for example in booking schema, if you want to save any seat, each object would be of this type. So I'm just gonna extract this seat ID from each object. Okay, just do that. So I'm just gonna extract the seat ID from each and just gonna save it to this new array. Okay, this is the new array which will only be containing seat IDs, nothing else. Now we have the seat IDs. We're just gonna say that find that specific movie schedule in that screen. Okay, find that specific schedule in that screen. Okay, so I'm just gonna say from the movie ID. So actually here you can see it small I, just make it capital I. Okay, so find that specific movie ID which I have mentioned in my booking. That means find that specific movie ID and check if that schedule has this movie ID or not. Okay, check that schedule if that schedule has this movie ID or not. Okay, so I'm just checking for all the schedules and I'm finding that schedule which has this movie ID, and one more thing, that is you're gonna check the show time also, and you're gonna check the show date also. These three things must match. Okay, so you're just gonna say that if this schedule is not available, so movie schedule not found. Actually you must do this at the top itself. Okay, you must do this at the top itself. So you're checking for the screen. Okay, you must also check for the schedule with this movie ID, so that both things are done at once. So if you are checking for the screen, you're checking for the movie schedule also. If movie schedule in that screen and also that screen exists, okay, then only you are allowed to book a ticket. You can't book a random ticket. Okay, so now I'm creating a booking, I'm saving the booking, and similarly you are gonna save the seat IDs to the not available seats. Okay, so again you're gonna fix the things to camel format. So I'm just gonna say that in the movie schedule, whatever is the movie schedule, for example I'll just go to the movie schema, and you actually sorry, screen schema, and you can see these are the movie schedules. Each movie schedule would be having this object, right? So I just found this object. Inside this object I'm just gonna update this array with the seats which are already booked. Okay, that's what we're gonna say. So we are simply gonna say find that movie schedule and just update the seat IDs. Okay, add all the seat IDs which are already booked. Okay, which I have booked. Fine, booking is done, so I have booked. Okay, so now if any other user sees those seats, they would see it as already booked. Okay, so that's why this is the logic. You have to update the seat layout IDs also. Okay, so these IDs are already booked, so any other user is trying to book that seat, now I'll get the error that these seats are already booked. Okay, so now what we're gonna say is just save the screen also. Okay, just save the screen also. You can see what we did was yes, first we found the screen and then we found the movie schedule. Once movie schedule is found, we updated the movie schedule. Movie schedule is just an array. Okay, the main is our screen. Inside screen we have the movie schedule, so we have to save the movie schedule. We have to save the screen. Okay, inside screen we have the movie schedule. We updated the movie schedule. Then we just save the screen. Okay, we saved the screen. Now if everything is fine, you have to do one more thing. That is what user is trying to book the seat. Okay, so one more thing is what user is trying to book the seat. So one more important thing is you have to find that user also. So from that from the auth token, from that auth token I'll get the user ID also. Okay, so I'll just say that user ID must also be in camel format. Okay, so user ID from auth token, I'll just check auth token also. You can see user ID is here, fine, and user ID is also here. Okay, so you can see that I am doing everything in camel format so that it's easy. Okay, so also check the auth.js also. You're gonna find the user ID. You can see we have the user ID. Perfect. Okay, so everything is fine. So now I'm just simply saying that first of all I'm verifying the authentication of the user, whoever is trying to book the ticket. Okay, then I'm simply finding that screen, I'm finding the movie schedule. Okay, I'm also finding that user ID. Okay, I'm just also finding that user ID. Now I already know that this user is verified. Okay, this user is authenticated, so I don't need to check everything that user doesn't exist or like that. But anyways, you're gonna mention it because you have to update the bookings of the user. For example, book, I found the screen, I found the schedule, I found the user. Okay, I made a booking, I made a booking. Here also, guys, we can do one thing. We can actually say user ID. Okay, we can mention the user ID also, and it's actually taken from what? From req.user ID, right? So we are simply gonna say that user ID equals req dot user ID. Okay, so I'm just gonna save the user ID also whenever you are making a booking. So in the booking schema itself, here also at the end I'm gonna mention my user ID also. Okay, so it's gonna take reference from the user schema and it would be of type MongoDB object ID, right? So everything is fine. I'm just saving the user ID also. Now booking is done, seat is updated in the seat layout of that movie schedule. Now you have to do one more thing. In the user schema you can see I have an empty array for bookings. That means whatever bookings has been done by this user, I have to save the bookings also. And that means if I am the user, I want to know what bookings I have I done till now, or what are my upcoming movies, like that. So for that I'm gonna save it to my user scheme also. So I'll just say that I found the user. Okay, I found the user. You can see if user doesn't exist, I'm simply gonna get this error. But if user is there, then I'm simply gonna say that user.bookings.push that specific new booking ID. Whenever you make a booking, you're just gonna save that ID here. Okay, fine. Now after this, I'm gonna say just save the user also. Okay, then after that, you're simply gonna say booking is successful. Okay, so these things are really important, and trust me, this logic is very important. You have to build this logic, and it took me a lot of time to build that. Okay, so we have built the booking logic. This is the very great booking logic, and after that everything is fine. So we are gonna talk about the get API. So get APIs are gonna be very simple. If you want to get all the movies, if you want to get all the movies, okay, you're simply gonna say that I want to get all the movies. I'm simply gonna find all the movies. Okay, but here also there is a catch. You can say that you can ask for the date also. That means for that specific date, like what are the movies for the latest month, add it latest month, or anyways you can simply get all the movies. Okay, this would be great. You can add filters also here, but I'm just getting all the movies for now. Okay, so all the movies. Simply if you want to find some specific movie, so you're simply gonna say find that specific ID. Okay, first of all, you want to get the movie ID. So you're simply gonna say that from my params, I'm just gonna provide the movie slash ID of some movie. For example, Jawan. I got all the movie. If I clicked on some specific movie, I'll get the data of that specific movie, right? So I get the data of some specific movie, for example. So I got the movie ID. Now I'm simply gonna say that inside try catch, I'm simply gonna say that find the movie by that ID. Okay, find movie by that ID. Now, if the movie isn't found with that ID, you're simply gonna say that movie doesn't exist. But if that movie is found, you're simply gonna send the data of that movie by simply saying that okay is true, data is movie, and messages like this. This is the format. Okay, always follow this format. Now we have the screens. Okay, so now we have the screens. So we are simply gonna say, by the way, yeah. Yeah, so now we're going to talk about the screen. So screens by city. For example, I search for a city, Mumbai. I want to know all the screens of that city. Okay, later on I'll check for the schedules of that specific screens. But first of all, I want to find all the screens of that city. So here you're going to do that. So you're simply going to find the city, for example, from the body. You are going to take the city from the body. Then you're going to say that find that city in those screens. That means all the screens would be first of all taken, and if the city exists in those screens, then those screens would be returned. Okay, because screen has a key value pair for city. So I'm simply saying in all screens find city, if matches then return those screens. Okay, so I got all the screens with my city. Then you're gonna say that if screen doesn't exist, then you're simply gonna say no screens found. Okay, else you are gonna return the data like this. Okay, you're gonna return the data like this. Okay, actually I called the create response function. Instead of this, you can directly send a response like this. Both is same. I've just created a function, right? Both are same. Okay, so now everything is fine. The screens by city array screens by city API is also done. You can see all the APIs are done. Now what you have to do is, now we have to talk about the front end part, that is for the admin panel. So we are going to create the admin panel also. Hi Sagar, how are you? So we are going to create the admin panel also. So let's start with the admin panel, but first of all check everything. So this is the admin routes. So we have to create this kind of API in the front end of admin. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. So we have this, right? Actually, guys, one more thing. Here you can see we created image upload routes. Let's complete that also, because you're gonna upload any image, so you need this. Okay, you need this. So I'm gonna say we are going to complete the image upload routes also. So for that, you can just simply take reference from my blog project, or what else can you do is you can simply visit my GitHub profile. Okay, and here we have blog 3x backend. Okay, blog 3x backend. Inside this we have the routes. Inside routes we have image upload route. So this is the complete code and you can always use this. Okay, so I'll just explain it in short, but these are all the things which you're gonna read. So you can see that actually I'll just copy everything. Okay. So what it actually does is it's very simple to use. Okay, I'll be using it in all the projects because this would be used in every project. So what I've done is, first of all, in the last video I told you that we are going to use Cloudinary to save our image. Okay, so we'll be using Cloudinary to save our image, and we pasted our API keys inside the env file too. So please check the last video. And here you can see what else we have .env config. And why .env? Because we are going to use these API values, okay, key values inside this. Okay, so now we have this, and we are also going to use multer for temporary storing of image and then creating a buffer out of it. Then you are also going to use sharp. Sharp is actually used for compressing the image size, so that if someone tries to upload a 4K image and Cloudinary is not allowing to upload an image more than 10 MB or 25 MB, whatever is the limit, so you're simply going to compress it, then upload the image, so that size is decreased and we don't face any issue. Okay, that's why I'm going to use sharp. Fine, so this is it. Instead of Cloudinary, you can use something else also, AWS also, or anything you like, but I'm using Cloudinary because it does not need any kind of credit card or anything for free use. Okay, so now you can see everything is fine. So I'm simply asking for one thing. Okay, please initialize it this way. The storage is initialized this way. For temporary, for multer, okay, for multer, that is temporary storage would be created in your backend. This is your backend, right? Temporary storage would be created here for creating a buffer of image. Okay, what I have done is simply upload the image in your backend. Find the image. Okay, I'm simply finding that image from form data. With this name, I'm going to provide a file. I'm going to upload that file. After that, automatically, similar to the middleware, okay, similar to which middleware, you can see we created a middleware for check admin token. You can see what we did was we were verifying the token. At the end, I just updated the request with the admin ID. Okay, similarly, our token is updated with the request. And you can see similarly auth token is also updated with what? User ID. Okay, you can see it's updated with user ID. In whatever middleware, things happen like that. So this is some inbuilt middleware. You don't need to worry about this. This is the inbuilt middleware which Multer provides. Okay, I have to define the storage. In that storage, Multer is working and it's acting as a middleware. So I've just called the middleware. It would, as a response, it would provide me the file. It would provide me the file. Okay, so what happens? Your file would be taken from front end and would be saved to back end, and at the as the response, this middleware is called as the response. You will get the file from the middleware. Okay, this is coming from the middleware now. Okay, so this is coming from front end, my image is coming from front end, my image is sent to the middleware. In middleware would update req.file. So now req.file simply has something, okay, simply has the buffer of the image. So you are simply gonna say file doesn't exist, no image file provided. But if file exists, so you are talking about the file buffer. So inside sharp, I'm simply providing the buffer of the file. Buffer of the file is actually the bit byte format. You can actually search about that. I'm not really sure about the buffer, so I'll just search about it. Image buffer. Yeah, you can see temporary storage as a working area. It's a block of memory to store an image. So you can just say it's a block of memory. It's not the image, it's just a block of memory. So you can search about protocols also. You don't need to worry about the image buffer, by the way. But I'll just say example. So buffer image examples. So I think you would get some examples somewhere in some website. So guys, you can see buffer is somewhat of this format. You can see buffer is somewhat of this format in the byte format. Okay, in the byte format. And yeah, you can check out the format, but you don't need to worry about the format. Okay, although you're simply saying that just get the buffer and send it to sharp, just compress the size, I mean, just make the size 800. If someone is trying to upload 4K image, just make the size 800. Okay, and that means width as 800 or anything you like. Okay, or anything you like, you can increase it or decrease it. I'm doing it because Cloudinary has the limit for uploading image. Okay, because we are using the free version, that's why I have to use sharp for compression. If you don't want to use, definitely you can avoid this, because we are using free things, so we have to use it this way. Okay, so that image is of less price, less size, and it can be uploaded. Okay, so what we did was simply resize the image. Then at the end you would get the next data, okay. So after that, if everything is fine, you won't be getting an error. If error is there, you would simply send this response. Okay, but if error is not there, that means you are getting the data. Okay, you're getting the data. So you're simply gonna call cloudinary.uploader.upload stream. Inside this, you're gonna call this method, and in the end you are going to provide the data also. Okay, whatever is the data, okay, the data will be there. Now you have the data, you're just gonna upload this data. So this function would automatically upload the data by simply providing it here. Then you would get an error or result. If the error is there, you will get the error. If the result is there, image uploaded successfully, along with the URL of Cloudinary. Okay, so whatever is the URL, you will get the URL. Okay, so this is a very common route which I use it in a lot of my videos. What actually I do here is simply take the image. Sir, please tell me what is origin in Cursor. For example, your backend is at localhost 8000, and suppose there are 5 frontends: localhost 3001, 3002, 3003, 3004, 3005. 5 frontend URLs and 1 backend URL. Right now, what happens if you make course as accessible to all front-end URLs, that means anyone in the universe, that is Google can also access, and GFG can also access, and Facebook can also access your backend. Problem is anyone can access your backend. Okay, so for avoiding that, course is defined. Course simply means that only some specific front-end URLs can access my backend. For example, you have hosted your website at 123 at the rate 123.com. Okay, 123.com is your front end URL. So you're simply saying inside course you have to define your origin as 123.com. For example, in index.js, you can see we have simply defined allowed origin as this front end URL. Instead of this, you can add one more URL, that is 123.com. Okay, so what actually happens is this front end is also allowed to access, this front end is also allowed to access my backend. Only these two are allowed. Apart from this, any other front end URL can't access my backend. Okay, so this is what origin is called. These are the allowed origins. Okay, these are the allowed origins, and for the specific purpose I created this array. That's why I created this array, because now you know that you can add more front-end URLs also. So this is the method which we follow for connecting the front-end to back-end. Okay, so please always use course so that you have more security. Okay, so that's the logic for the course. If you understood it, that's great. Okay, the easiest thing, okay, you just have to allow the origins, whatever is the origin. This is just array of all the URLs which you are allowing to access the backend, and then you have to call this. Okay, if the origins match, so you're simply gonna continue, else you're gonna say that not allowed by course, not allowed by course. Okay, so this is for the front end. Okay, this is for the front end, and you're just calling a callback. So callback is simply called whenever you want to call some other function. Okay, so callback is called, and you're simply sending that if everything is fine, this is true. If everything is not fine, you're simply sending the error. Okay, so error here is null, but here it's the error. Okay, so that's how you're going to define course policies here. Okay, then only you are able to use this in the front end. Okay, suppose if in future, right now I'm using it in localhost 3000. In future, if I host my front end somewhere, so I have to add that hosted URL. Okay, that hosted URL here, not localhost. Okay, now let's continue. And okay guys, so now what we have done is we have done the image upload routes also. We have completed this. So these are all the things which we needed for the backend. Now we have to create the admin panel also. So let's talk about the admin panel. So guys, what you have to do is you have to create the admin panel. So for that, I'm gonna say inside my live folder, I'm gonna open this with VS Code. Okay, and let's highlight it. Okay, so you can see this was the front end, this was the back end. Now let's create the admin panel also. So I'll just say npx create next app latest. I'm creating the admin panel in Next.js itself. Body parser also. Body parser is, for example, you're sending some data like name, email, password from front end to back end. So you have to parse that data. Data comes it in string format. Okay, you send the data in string format from front end to back end. Okay, that's how data is sent. That string is it converted into some other format. I'm not talking about that format in between, but at the end your backend would receive the data in string format. So you have to parse that data into JSON format. So for that, body parser is used as a middleware. Right, so here, what's your project name? So I'm just gonna say that movie booking underscore admin. Fine, movie booking admin. This is fine. I think the name won't be allowed. I'll just name it normally, movie booking admin. Okay, and I wanna use the TypeScript. ESLint no, TypeScript no. Yes, yes, no. Fine. So your admin panel would also be created, and we're gonna create some very basic UI here so that our work is done. So guys, here you can see that the admin panel is also created, and let's close everything first of all. So this was the backend, this was the admin panel, right? Now what we are going to do is, first of all, I'll just split it. Okay, I'll just split it, or I'll just create a new terminal here, and let's rename this to backend. Okay, and this is for rename to admin. Okay, admin. So now we know that backend would be here. So I'll just select backend and I'll just type cd movie booking underscore backend. Okay, so this is the backend. I'll just start the backend by simply typing nodemon. So my backend has been started, and let's see if it works properly. So you can see right now it's fine. Similarly, we're going to talk about the admin. So inside the admin, we're simply going to cd movie booking admin. Okay, so this is the admin. If I type npm run dev, okay, for 3000 is used, trying 3000. Okay, 3001, I think at 3000 I was running something else. So you can see 3001 is here, and my backend admin, sorry, my admin is here. My admin is here and my backend is also here. So guys, what we're gonna do is today we have covered the backend part completely. Backend part is done. So from next video we're gonna finish the admin part. And as you know that this project series is for 6 days, and you know this is the day 5. So obviously in one day we are not able to complete the front end as well as the admin panel. So what we'll do is tomorrow itself we're gonna finish the admin part completely. Then after that we're gonna finish the front end part in some separate video. We're gonna schedule some separate video, that is day 7, day 8 sometime. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna finish the admin part. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood the back end part today which we covered, and also the front end part which we have done till now. So one thing is remaining, that is first of all create the admin panel, connect the backend with the admin panel, as well as connect the backend with the movie booking front end. Okay, so these things are actually remaining here. We have to finish that. Okay, so I hope you understood this video. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload my source code of today. Simply you have to check out the description. You'll get my GitHub repository link, or else you can simply type github.com/VIRA014. This is my GitHub profile, and you can check my profile. You can check my social handles here. If you want to contact me, you can contact me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and you can follow me here. And in the repositories you would find movie booking 3x backend, movie booking 3x frontend. Similarly, I'm gonna upload admin also, so all the source code would be available here. You'll get the complete source code here. If you don't find this, you can simply search it here, and also you can mark it as a star. Okay, you can simply click it here, so that in the stars you would find the repository. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you understood this. I will see you in the next one with the admin panel. Till then, see you, a good day. Bye bye.